Hi everybody and welcome to While They're Napping. I'm Heidi and
I'm John.
Yeah, John, my husband, and this is baby Quinn.
She just waved.
Oh, she waved right on cue. What a good YouTube baby you are. My goodness. Yeah, so we did a birth vlog. That's awesome, and I'll link it below, but basically like all the video of the day, and then we did a lot of videos during that time because we were daily vlogging at that time.
We went to the hospital a lot.
Yeah, we went to the hospital a lot. We went like 4 times. So anyway, on the 4th time we actually got a baby. So this story is of just her birthday. If you've been following along with us, then you know all the rest of it, or you can watch some of our previous videos. Let's get right into it. This is gonna be awesome. All right, so at 12:30, oh no, first we got at the hospital.
Well, we were scheduled to be induced at 9.
Yeah.
So we got up early, called, make sure they still had room for us, and then we could come in.
Yeah, and later...
They were busy, but
yeah.
they let us come in, so...
Our doctor was actually surprised that they kept us. But they did put us in overflow room. So in the birth vlog, you'll see we're actually in like a recovery room, sort of.
That they kind of converted.
Yeah, so the previous 3 times we had like a really nice room, like huge and beautiful. And this time it's like, all right, this is where we're gonna have our baby. And really it doesn't matter. Nothing really happened until 12:30. So 12:30 was when our doctor came in and said, okay, let's break your water and get things started. When Aidan and Declan's water broke, it was a big gush, like huge gush. Anyway, they're actually breaking the water when the doctors do it is kind of weird. It's like just like a whoosh. It gets smaller. I don't know how to, that's all I can think to describe it. But anyway, so that was done and nothing happened basically. Like I kind of thought that the whole contractions would start like with Aidan and Declan. They started like 20 minutes later, bam, labor.
You did start feeling some stuff shortly after though.
Yeah, but not like enough where I was asking for an epidural yet.
Not like things started with Aidan and Declan when your water broke.
Yeah,
right?
that was like grabbing walls.
That was pretty quick.
This one was not like that. So then she upped, then the doctor kind of approved, you know, just kind of putting the pitocin up just a little bit at a time to see what my body did. And went to 2, nothing. Went to 4, and that's when I was starting to be like, yeah, I can feel this. And
where's that anesthesiologist?
Yeah, that's when I started asking about the anesthesiologist.
Who Heidi calls...
Bless you.
That was work.
Yeah, good job.
Who Heidi calls the epidural man.
Yeah, I hate saying anesthesiologist. It's a lot of blah, blah, blah. So I just say the epidural man, so if I refer to him like that, then you'll know. So yeah, that's when I started like closing my eyes and kind of just like, just kind of focusing. I was fine. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm feeling it. And I wasn't checked or anything for...
I get a smile.
Oh, you got a smile. Hi. Oh, now no one cares about the birth vlog. They're like, oh, baby. I know, she's so cute. Now we're totally distracted by cuteness. Yeah, but I was handling the pain well. I just didn't want to be in the situation where the epidural man was in a C-section and I didn't get it in time, which is exactly what's going to happen in this story. But anyway, I was, you know, trying to do my due diligence in getting him there before he wasn't available. So then the nurse said, okay, yeah, we'll get that going. And she upped my pitocin to 6.
That's as high as it ever got?
Yeah, that's as high as it ever got.
You weren't there long.
Yeah, and my body was like, oh, okay, you want to have a baby. I get it. And it went really fast from then on out. Like, I honestly don't even remember putting it up to 6. I just remember like chit-chat in the room, like, oh, let's do 6. Because I was kind of just focusing on with the 4 pitocin level, but anyway, I kind of, in retrospect, wish that we just stuck with 4, and like my body had just. Like,
I don't think any of them expected things to kick into that high gear.
No, and they hadn't checked me. It's kind of like one of the hospitals that does it more on the natural side, so they don't check a lot. And because I was handling the pain so well, like basically no one thought I was progressing as fast as I actually was. So
yeah.
Apparently I have good pain tolerance or something. So yeah, that's when things started getting kind of crazy. I started like crying through every contraction and just really feeling like this is not what I want to be doing. I was like, wait, what is going on here? I'm feeling a lot of pain. I do not want to be in pain. Yeah. That's when I started like, I was like, oh shoot. Like every time I was like, oh, I do, just got, and I was almost starting to get like mad that I was feeling that pain. So I was like, I did not want to feel this. And I remember at one point I was like, I'm like glad her name is Quinn or something like that. Cause I was just like, because John and I went back and forth on her name a bunch, and basically we came to Quinn, which was awesome because that was my first choice. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so yeah, that definitely helped me during labor to know that my favorite name was going to be her name and everything. But yeah, and I was like, I would say things like, oh my word, and I like wrote things down that I said. I don't know. It's like at one point I just like belted out. I'm like, this sucks, and you can hear that in the birth log, like it's totally in there. And then also I kept saying, how did this happen?
That's what I remember you saying over and over again.
Yeah.
You're like, this was not the plan.
Whoa.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I was just like
clutching the side of the bed.
Yeah, I actually bruised my palm from grabbing the bed so hard. Afterwards, I'm like, why does my hand hurt? I could not figure out why the palm of my hand was hurting. And I like bruised the bone in there or something. No bruise showed up in my hand, but it was definitely sore for a good week or so after having her. Anyway, so I'm glad I wasn't holding your hand.
Yeah.
It would have squashed you.
We figured that one out pretty quick.
Yeah. So that's when, I kept asking for the epidural, man, and that is when we sort of found out that he was an emergency C-section. And they kept saying, it'll only be 20 more minutes. And in my mind, I'm like, he's in an emergency C-section. This is not going to be 20 minutes long. Okay, so at one point, I heard keys in the hallway, and I was thinking, oh, that's him. That's him.
Footsteps coming down the hallway.
Yeah, and I heard like keys.
Because she's facing like away from the hallway. She's hugging the side of the bed.
I was like, is that him? Is that him? And I'm like crying.
Sarah and I look at each other. We're like, that's the janitor.
Yeah, they're like, that's the janitor. I'm like, he can do it. Just like, they're like, I think like somebody just laughed, but I was not kidding. I was like, anyone can stab me right now. I do not care.
We were biting our tongues until they bled. We weren't going to laugh.
Yeah, no.
But we were thinking about it.
It's like, oh, I just can't do this anymore. And I was just so, like scared. I was fearful that, I'm actually going to have to push her out without any pain management whatsoever. I was just like, oh my word, is this really going to happen? This is my worst nightmare. How is this happening? Why is this happening?
Well, and up until that point, you're still thinking like the end of my pain is an epidural. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kept my eyes on that prize. I was like, epidural, that's all I need. I can do this. So I was in so much pain at that point that the nurse actually turned off my pitocin completely. She went over and turned off. She's like, I'm going to turn it off. I've never heard of that happening.
She said, well, I wouldn't know, but she said she hasn't really done that.
She said she'd never done that before, but she just saw how much pain I was in, and the monitor.
Because evidently the doctors don't really like, once you're on it, they don't like the nurses turning it off.
Yeah, and the monitor or the contractions were so strong on there. I mean, I was turned away from it, but John and Sarah
we're looking at the chart and we're just like,
yeah, they were just really, really strong, and
this is happening.
Yeah, I guess I was handling the pain okay, but still, it was pretty bad. I know, it was so bad. Are you crying for me? So a little intermission for you, and she might be a little happier now, hopefully. So I was lying on my side for most of it, just because that was the most comfortable place for me. But then the nurse wanted me to go to my back, and I was just like, no. I cannot do that. I really can't do that. I just felt like flipping to my back not only was less comfortable for me, but also it just was me waving like a white flag and saying I'm not gonna get my epidural, I'm gonna do this naturally, and like all that. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I just mentally wasn't ready to say that I was going to do it naturally, even though there was really no going back anyway. So it was at that point that I realized that in the past with my epidurals, I had a catheter. Good times. Which I totally wish I had a catheter with this one, but it just doesn't work like that with natural deliveries. They don't give you a catheter. And then I realized I just had to pee really, really bad. And I'm like, what am I gonna do right now? I do not have a catheter. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get up to go. So,
so you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
The nurses get a deal. I
know. So I kind of just like had to like push a little bit to pee, and the nurse is like, "Are you pushing?" And I'm like, "No, I'm peeing." And I'm just like, I don't know. I was just like I was like embarrassed. Like my friends there and John, you know, whatever. Like you have to love me, but
nice.
No, just like the whole like thing about it, whatever. Anyway, so yes, I peed myself. Basically,
it happens.
It happens apparently. So the problem with doing that was my body was like, oh, you want to push? Well, okay, we can totally do that for you. We, as in my body's like multiple people.
Your body and you.
Oh my goodness, yes. I was like, my body's pushing. I don't want to push. This is happening. Oh dear, what is going on? Like, all things going on in my head didn't all come out my mouth. Like I was still just like, oh shoot, through like every contraction and everything. But the nurse just was like, this is happening, like there's no going back. I think everyone was like, whoa, this happened way faster than we thought. She called my doctor.
She did finally check you.
She finally checked me. She didn't say anything at that point yet though. Until the doctor came in. Oh, I only heard it when the doctor came in. Because she called my doctor.
No,
she wasn't there. And then the doctor...
She was like, oh honey, you're done.
Yeah, she said, oh honey, you're done, yeah. Because I was asking about the epidural again, I think. They called the on-call doctor because they were like, there's no way your doctor's going to get here
to catch quick.
Yeah. Basically. So
he came in.
So I like had my eyes closed. I hear this man's voice coming in. I'm like, oh, it's not my doctor. Like the doctor that's delivered Aidan and Declan. She was on call during Qunn's time, and I was like, oh man. But I really didn't care. I was kind of like, all right, whatever. And then knock, knock, knock.
Cue your epidural man.
It's like, are you freaking kidding me? He's here now. In my head, I'm just like, oh my word. And one part of me is like, he can still do this, right? He can still do this. And then the other side of my head is like, are you kidding me? You can't even sit up right now. You can't do anything. You can't even roll over. Like my head's like doing all these thoughts. So
anesthesiologist like, I'm going to room 2.
Yeah, he was like, whatever. Literally all I hear is like mumble, 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 and then like I'll go to the next room, and in my head I'm like, no. And John, you said like it came out like no. So like groan. Basically, that's where all of my fear just turned into focus, as I like to say. My fear into focus. You got my little thing there going.
Nice.
She's totally out. That's so sweet. Good job. And so then, like, the relief before was the epidural. Now the relief was having this baby, like, get her out now. So it was, I mean, kind of like really 2 like big pushes where I was like, this is happening, like let's do this. And I even said let's do this at one point, and it was.
And your doctor arrived.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Important detail.
Yes, my doctor came in and I heard her voice, and I think that was part of it too. Was like, okay, epidural man is not coming, or he came, but whatever. And
yeah, not happening.
And then my doctor walked in the room and I heard her voice, and I was like, okay, this is the way it's gonna be.
Let's do it.
Like, okay, God, give me the strength. And I was definitely like doing little quick prayers in between all the pain. And that's pretty much it.
I mean your doctor showed up and it was like 5 minutes later, and she was here.
She was like, I made it.
It was like 5 to 10 minutes tops. It wasn't even 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
It was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was so fast.
12:30, she broke your water.
Yeah.
Went back to, and then she went back to her offices
thinking it was gonna be later.
Thinking she was coming back like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And
nope, just kidding. 2:15.
2:15. Yeah, 2:15.
Just kidding. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. So less than 2 hours. That is our labor and delivery story. Oh my goodness. Basically that. I mean, I had one stitch because she came so fast and like
she had a perfectly C-section shaped head.
Yeah, like that was
no
part
cone
of the
head because it was just so fast. She just didn't sit in the birth canal very long.
That was part of it. Is I was like, oh my goodness, she's so pretty. Like, oh no, I said she's so cute. Cause
well, first you said, is she a girl?
Yeah. Like, dude. And like some of the things you say, it's like you're almost like ashamed that you said it because like when I said,
"Hey, you never know." The
nurse
said,
Quinn, and then is she a girl? It's like, am I going through all this pain for my daughter, or I don't know.
The nurse said that in her career, it's happened twice.
Oh, where babies were born
girls were born as, you know.
Yeah. And my cousin knows that way too, so I just really wanted to know. And she was a girl. She's like, she's a girl, and she's a big girl, and I was like, yeah. So here she is, our daughter Quinn. I hope you enjoyed our birth vlog. If we missed anything, like details that you want to know that I forget to do, I don't know. We've never done a birth vlog before like this.
Well, we were just really impressed with the hospital and the staff and stuff. I mean, it was...
Yeah, everyone was great.
Yeah, and like you said, they lean a little bit more, you know, on the natural side, and they don't want to do anything that doesn't need to be done, so... Except
for going to 6 with pitocin. I think she felt a little bad about that. That could have stayed at 4. I really wasn't part of that decision making, that one.
That all happened kind of fast.
Yeah, so whatever. It's done now, and she's perfect, and we will see you next time on While They're Napping, and we'll see you in the comments. So make sure to comment below, like this video if you enjoyed it, and hang with us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for more coming up. That's a little commercial at the end. You know how it is. Bye.
Bye.
Nap time.